Hello folks, this is Aditya from inspiredrise.com and today we are going to talk about the Samsung Galaxy A51. So guys, let's first start with the unboxing for the Samsung Galaxy A51. This is the official box for this smartphone, and inside the first thing that you'll find is the smartphone. We have the smartphone in the black color which looked really good and has a very nice rainbow pattern at the back. Inside you also get the earphones for this one, the USB Type-C cable. The earphones are earbud style earphones, and you also get a fast charging adapter for this one which does charge it fastly. And inside you get the SIM tray slot ejector tool, and you also get the TPU cover for this one along with the quick start guide and the warranty card and everything else. The TPU cover might get yellow with time. And now let's talk about the build and design for the smartphone. This smartphone certainly feels a little bit on the heavier side. At the back there's the quad camera setup along with the Samsung branding, and it does get smudges and scratches really easily. At the bottom there's the 3.5mm jack, the USB Type-C port along with the speaker grill and the microphone, and on the left hand side there's the SIM tray slot. On the right hand side there's the power button and the volume rocker. At the top there's the noise cancellation microphone, and you get a dedicated micro SD card slot with this one, so it has a triple card slot. And now let's talk about the display. The display on the Samsung Galaxy A51 is a 6.5-inch Super AMOLED display with a 20:9 aspect ratio, and the notch on this one is a very small punch hole notch, and that's why it feels really good. Even while you're watching content, it's very minimal and does not come in the way like any other notch. And now let's talk about the specifications. It comes with the Exynos 9611 10nm chipset, and it comes with 128GB storage, out of which you get around 111GB free. It does support NFC and has almost all of the latest features that you require for a great smartphone experience, and it also packs in all of the sensors which are required for a normal smartphone experience. And now let's talk about the benchmarks. It scored around 1,80,000 plus on the Antutu benchmark, which is a respectable score, but the Exynos 9611 isn't really a hard-hitting chipset, and the internal read-write storage speed was around 500 Mbps, which is okay but not really best in class. Cam2 API support on this one is limited, which means that you might not be able to install Gcam on this one properly. The face unlock on this one is pretty fast, and overall experience was good while using it. And now let's do a sound check. I felt that the sound was pretty loud, and the in-display fingerprint scanner on this one also works pretty good. And now let's talk about the camera. It comes with a 48MP main sensor, a 12MP ultra-wide sensor, a 5MP dedicated macro camera sensor, a 5MP depth sensor, and the front camera on this one is a 32MP f2.2 front camera. The good thing about the smartphone is the fact that the front and the back camera both can record full HD video, and apart from that I found that there are a lot of modes and a lot of different things which allow you to do n number of artistic creation possibilities. There's slow motion, hyperlapse, a lot of different things, and I found that the selfie camera quality was pretty good. The 32MP sensor does take in some really good shots. Overall shots, clarity, color reproduction all felt on point. Only in the extreme lighting conditions I felt that the camera did lag somewhat, and the ultra wide lens has a little problem with too much fisheye and barrel distortion. Apart from that, the macro mode did take in a little bit less detail. The ultra wide sensor in daylight performs really good. The front camera in almost every condition performed good, and I really loved the selfies on the smartphone. If I talk about the video quality, the 4K videos on this one are stabilized on both the ultra wide as well as the primary sensor, but the front camera videos didn't seem stabilized to me, so that was one of the major issues. When it comes to dynamic range as well, the front camera doesn't perform really that much spectacularly, and if you're somebody who's going to just shoot a lot of videos, you'd be happy because of the resolution, but other things might disappoint you. Now let's talk about the gaming performance. This smartphone can run something like PUBG on even HDR and ultra frame rates, and the performance was really good enough. I felt that the smartphone was good enough for long-term gaming, as I played a whole match and the performance was smooth throughout. There was no lag or hiccup whatsoever, but the smartphone did heat up to almost 42 degrees at the back at certain points, and even the front for the smartphone was nearing up to 40 degrees, so that's really high temperature. Something like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was playable on the smartphone with maximum possible settings and no issues whatsoever, and this time around the smartphone didn't heat up that much. You can play something like Call of Duty on high frame rates with low or medium settings, and even on high settings it's playable, but the smartphone would heat up a little bit more if you play it on high settings with high frame rate. So if you are somebody who wants the smartphone to heat up less, either play it on low settings or try to play lighter games. Samsung has improved a lot in the UI section. The One UI on the Galaxy A51 feels really polished, and I felt that the experience from top to bottom was pretty good. If you're somebody who's going to buy this phone just for normal casual use, you will find that the overall experience was good. There's dark mode and a lot of other things which make the overall experience pretty smooth. It's really good when compared to the TouchWiz era which was there on Samsung phones a long time back. There are few bloatware applications, but you can easily uninstall them, and that's not an issue. The major issue for the Samsung Galaxy A51 would be competition from a lot of other devices which would launch soon in similar price range. This device retails for a price of around 24,000 rupees. For such a price, it packs in a lot of value, but it also is slightly overpriced at the same time, because we are soon going to get something like the Poco X2, and there might be a Poco X2 Pro as well, and then the competition would definitely heat up in this specific price segment. So guys, this was it for this video. In case you like this one, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button and do subscribe to Inspired to Rise for more awesome tech videos like this one. And guys, no matter what you do, stay inspired to rise.